Today, I'm going to be sharing on how assertiveness saved me and how it can save you. If you want to know how, watch this video.
Welcome to Mimi's Musings, a place where inspiration flourishes and positivity blossoms.
Hello amazing people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mimi Ikomi and this is Mimi's Musings. I'm saying this for those who are just joining in for the first time. So if this is your first time here on this channel, I especially welcome you. Thank you for choosing to click on this video, and I trust that when you're done watching this one, you will go back to binge watch the previous videos on this channel, because yes, there are other videos on this channel that have been specially put out for you to encourage you, to inspire you, to help you, to bless you, to help you make better decisions and improve the overall quality of your life. Hey, that's what I'm all about. That's what Mimi's Musings is all about. This is what God has called me and gifted me to do, to help you be a better version of yourself. So do not miss out on the other videos on this channel. Please like them, drop your comments, share with your family and friends, and most importantly, subscribe and turn on the notification button so that anytime I drop a new video, you'll be notified immediately. Once again, I welcome you. I trust you're doing great. I trust all is well with you. I trust you're keeping safe. As always, make sure you build meaningful relationships and make sure you cultivate your relationship with God. A relationship with God is a must-have. I wouldn't stop emphasizing that. All right, as I said, today I'll be sharing on how assertiveness saved me. And this is also like an offshoot of what I shared the last time. I shared on finding your rhythm, living your life as you ought to. In year 2018, I had this wish to move out of our family house. The early part of that year, I was staying with my dad and I just felt like I needed to change environment. I did not know that God was actually the one stirring my heart. But I just had that wish and I spoke to God about it and I let it be. Towards the end of that year, something happened and I just took it as my cue, right, to move out. And again, that wish moved from a wish to an urge. I just had the strong urge to move out. The idea that came to my heart was to get a place of my own, but I didn't have the funds for it. And then God opened the door, moving with a family. God opened that door. In fact, it was a case of them saying, okay, we feel like God wants you to come and live with us this time. So that's why I said that from the beginning, it was God who was urging me, it was God who was stirring my heart to move out. And it was going to be a temporary one anyway, but at that point, God was stirring my heart. I told some people that are close to me that I wanted to move out. I told them what had happened and how I felt the urge to move out, or I felt it was the best thing for me to do, and the door that I felt God had opened for me to move out. And every one of them had their reservations. Some of them even just kicked against it. They were like, no, you shouldn't move out. I mean, how do you want to move out of your family house where you're comfortable, where you have a room to yourself, and you're moving into the house of strangers? They were not total strangers, but I have known them for just 3 years, or barely 3 years. I met them and found out they were my church members, but I didn't meet them at church. So they were feeling like, we've not known these people for so long, so is there no other way around this situation? Why do you have to move out? They kicked against it, but I just had this strong urge to move out. One of them, who is a friend that was helping me out with trying to get a place, was insisting that I get a place, and I was telling her I do not have the funds, and I just feel like God opened this door for me so I would move in with this family, right? I just knew it was temporary, but I knew that I needed to move out. And she was a bit skeptical. She wasn't down with it. She just felt like I should wait a bit until I'm able to raise the money, then I would move out. But I just had the strong urge to take up that offer and move out before Christmas. That was my wish. That was what I told God at the beginning of that year, that I would not want to spend Christmas in my family house or in that environment. So I decided to follow what I felt God was leading me to do, follow the leading of the Holy Spirit, the urge to move out at that time. So I moved out first week in December. 1 month after, which was January 2019, my elder sister had just put to bed and I was with her at the time. When my dad called, I received the call from my dad saying that our house had been burgled, and specifically they burgled my room. I will leave a picture of what the room looked like when they came around. The people who came to rob us, they turned the room upside down. I locked the wardrobes with key, but they forced them open. Both wardrobes, they forced them open, ransacked the whole room, turned the whole room upside down. But there was nothing for them to take because I had moved out my essentials. I had moved out things that were important to me, things like my laptop. And in my laptop were documents that were very, very important to me. And that would have been a very painful situation if they had stolen it. And nobody was in the house because my dad had traveled. It was when he came back that he found out that the house was burgled. And the truth is that I wouldn't have even been around even if I was still living in my family house. Because like I said, my sister just put to bed and I was with her. So there was no way I would have been in the house when the incident happened. Because I had moved out most of my things. So my laptop and every other thing that was quite important to me was in the house of the family I was staying with. I just moved some of my clothes to stay with my sister since she had just put to bed, to just help her around, help with the kid. That was her first baby. So you see that the urge that I had and all of the stirrings and all of that was all God. God was trying to save me from that robbery because it was just my room they touched. I don't know how it happened, but they didn't get to my dad's room. They didn't get to the visitor's room. They didn't get to the parlor. They didn't get to any other place in the house. It was just my room they focused on. I don't know whether they heard a voice or they heard something that made them run off and they could not search any other part of the house, because I feel like they came to steal, right? And if they did not get anything from my room, they would have tried to go to the other parts of the house to try to get something.
And that's how being assertive, insisting to follow my own conviction saved me. If I'd listened to the many other voices that were telling me, no, Mimi, don't go yet, or my friend that was telling me, be patient, let's get you a place, see how you can raise funds to pay for the place and all of that before you move out. If I listened to my friend and listened to every other person, I would have lost my valuables when the people who came to rob came around. I would have lost my valuables. And that's why I said the last time in the last video that it doesn't matter if everyone is not doing it. It doesn't matter if everyone does not believe in you. Popular does not always signify right. That something is popular does not mean it is right. That everybody is saying the same thing does not mean that they are right. Everybody could be saying the same thing and they are all wrong. Yes, everybody could be saying the same thing and they are all wrong. And that's why it's important to find out what works for you. It's important to find out the thing that makes you you and stick to them. I said that the last time. It's okay to give yourself the permission to find your reading. This is the same assertiveness that many people have condemned me for that saved me. Yes, someone told me to my face, she said to me, Mimi, assertive people suffer. Yes, someone said that to my face, that assertive people suffer. That if I keep on being assertive, I would suffer. Because most people do not like assertive people. Most people do not like people who will stand their ground. Most people do not like people who have boundaries and who stick to their boundaries. Most people do not like the people who have the courage, who find the courage to be true to themselves, who find the courage to follow through with their convictions. But then again, I'll always say, you have a choice to make. To either be conflicted within and for peace to be without. What that means is that There's that conflict in your soul because you are not following through with your convictions. There's that conflict in your soul because you are not doing the things that you know that you ought to do. Or you can decide to have peace within and conflict without. That means you have peace in your heart, that you are following through with your convictions. You are seeing yourself winning. You are winning in your personal life, even if people on the outside do not agree with you. And because of that, they are forcing, some of them may have even walked out of your life, abandoned you because they felt, oh, you are too stubborn. We are telling you, do things this way, don't do it this way. And you insist on doing it the way you want to do it. So that's how assertiveness saved me. And the real gist is not telling you to be assertive. Even though I believe or I wish that everyone would be assertive, I know that assertiveness will help you. It will help you maintain those boundaries. It will help you follow through with your convictions. Even though I believe everyone should be assertive, because assertiveness does not mean aggression. It does not mean being aggressive like most people will think. It does not mean being rude. It just means that you are confident enough, you are bold enough to follow through with that which you believe in. It doesn't mean you are stubborn. It doesn't mean you are blind to see the obvious. It doesn't mean that if there are places where you need to tweak or you need to make changes, that you wouldn't make those changes. No, that's not what assertiveness means. But that's not really what this video is about. Even though I've shared how assertiveness saved me, I'm just sharing how being true to myself, because being assertive is something that is me being me. I'm somebody who is assertive. I'm somebody whose no is no, whose yes is yes. I'm somebody who, when I believe in something, I will follow through it, even if nobody else believes in it, even if nobody else is clapping for me, even if nobody else supports me, I will stick with it. So I am that kind of person. And that is me finding my reading. And for some time, I was beginning to almost think that being assertive was a problem because I was labeled all sort of things. I've said this thing before. I shared a bit in a video before on assertiveness and kindness. You can be assertive and yet be kind. People think that assertive people are wicked, they are mean, they are rude, they are all of that. But I said in that video that you can be assertive and yet be kind. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. So I've had people say all those things about me, and at some point I wanted to dish this assertiveness thing. I just wanted to, soften a bit. But I realized that assertiveness comes naturally to me because of my calling. I've seen that in dealing with women. I have a ministry for women. I've said that before, said that several times. In dealing with women, I've had instances where I've had to encourage women, where I've had to tell them, stand your ground, do this, do that. And I've seen them win, where I've had to tell them to create boundaries. One of my assignments, as God said to me, is to raise strong women. And I realized that I cannot raise strong women if I myself am not strong. It's impossible to raise strong women if I am not strong. So I've realized that God made me this way because of my assignment. That's one of the reasons I'm able to be assertive, because God has given me an assignment to raise strong women. And you cannot give what you do not have. If you do not learn to create boundaries, how do you teach other people about creating boundaries? If you do not learn to teach people how to respect you, how do you teach other people how to teach others to respect them? And so I'm saying again, give yourself the permission to find you. The world will try to stifle you. I said many people have had a problem with me being assertive. Recently, a music minister got married, and the comments we were getting was, oh, the wife is so calm, she's so this, she's so that. And some people start implying, Christians, they're implying that, you see, ladies, you need to be calm, or you need to be this, and you need to be all of that. And I was like, hello, we cannot all be calm. We cannot all be calm. I said, even Jesus was not calm, right? Jesus was the kind of person that if you do anyhow, as my people will say it, you will see anyhow. Jesus was strict. Jesus was stern. Jesus was assertive. Yes, Jesus was all of that. And there are people who did not like him for that. But it did not change that Jesus was an assertive person. And I was saying it's okay if a woman is assertive, it's okay if a woman is loud, it's okay if a woman is expressive. Not everybody will be calm. And there are men who God has created who can handle women like that, who can handle strong women, who can handle assertive women, who can handle women who can express themselves or who likes to express themselves. Not everybody can be calm. We will not always have only Marys in the world. We will also have Marthas. The world has to be balanced. But then you see that when some people think that behaving in a certain way is favorable, or they've seen that it has favored some people, then they just want every other person to fit into that mold. And so they're saying, every woman should be like this, should be like this, should be calm. And I was like, we cannot all be calm. And however you are made, whatever your demeanor is, know that God made you that way for a purpose. If you choose to change for anyone, if you choose to change because of what people are saying, if you choose to change because people are thinking, no, you don't fit in, you are different, then you will be cheating yourself. Then you'll be doing yourself a disfavor, and not just yourself. You would also be doing those that God has called you to a disfavor. So once again, I'm appealing with you to give yourself the permission to be you. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks about it. It doesn't matter what anybody's opinion is about it. What's important is that you are fulfilled. And what's also important is that in being you, you are not trampling on anybody's right. You are not being unfair to anybody. You are not being unjust to anybody. You are not being insincere. You deserve to be fulfilled. You do not deserve to leave this world unfulfilled just because you had to fit into a mold, just because you had to fit into what society has set as the standard in quotes. Because who truly set the standards? Who truly said this is how everyone should be? This is how everyone should act. This is the path everyone should follow. I always say nobody came to this world with manual, so do not let anybody bamboozle you. Don't let anybody gaslight you. Nobody came to this world with manual. We are all trying to find our paths. Nobody knows it all. We are all trying to find what works for us. We are all trying to find our unique makeup. What makes us unique? We are all on that journey trying to find out. And you never get to fully know until you leave this earth. There are certain things you may come into the fullness of. But even in the fullness of those things, you will still have to keep learning and unlearning and relearning. So do not let anyone bamboozle you. Do not let anyone feel like they figured it out, they know it all. Nobody does. Even if they are older, it's good. Listen to people. Get wisdom from people. Let people's life inspire you. I'm inspired by the lives of so many people, but that does not mean I will follow their path. Let their lives inspire you. Let what they do inspire you. But that does not mean you have to copy them. There can only be one original at a time. There can't be photocopies in this world and it will work out well. It won't. We can only recognize one of you. We can't recognize many of you. Find out what makes you unique and stick to it. Find the courage to follow it. And maybe you should borrow my being assertive here. Yes, be assertive enough to stand your ground and say, this is what I feel being led to. This is the part I feel I should work on. This is what I feel like is the trajectory of my life. This is how I see my life going, and I will follow through with it. It doesn't matter who disapproves it. As long as God approves of it, then you are good to go. All right, this is where I draw the curtain on this topic. I trust you've learned something. I trust you've seen how assertiveness saved me and why I will always be an assertive person, why I will always stick through to my convictions. I would have lost out that year on valuables, on important things if I did not follow through with my conviction, if I listened to every other person, because everyone, like I said, was saying the same thing. Mimi, don't move, Mimi, be patient. But I felt the urge and I decided to go with that urge. And I have so many examples of that, how I decided to stick with my convictions and how they ended up playing out, how I ended up winning. You should put yourself first. You don't care about what people will think. Oh, I want to please people. God didn't create you to be a people pleaser. You should please God. That should be your number one goal, to please God. And once you're pleasing God, every other thing does not matter. If you have gotten to this point and you're yet to subscribe, you know what to do. Please do well to subscribe and turn on the notification button. Also, like this video, drop your comment and share with your family and friends. Share, share, share. Do not hoard valuable information. It's very important that you grow with your family and friends, that you're feeding from the same source. So anytime you find any valuable information, do not hoard it. Share with those that you love, so that you will not be lonely at the top. Oh, it's very important that when you are at the top, you are at the top with those you love, because you're on the same wavelength of knowledge. Until I come your way again, stay blessed.